Success. Chapter 12. Why motivation is important for a successful life. Being successful is very important for everybody. It is the intrinsic need of human beings to gain recognition, dignity and success. However, in order to be successful, one needs to be highly motivated. This is so because motivation gives one the inertia and the power to propel themselves towards success. However, motivation is important for success due to other reasons as well. Some of these are as follows. 1. Motivation serves as the basic start-up. Have you ever been forced to do some work that you don't like? How have you reacted to that work? Not that positively for sure. Now compare that work to some work that you would like to perform. Do you realize the difference in your attitude when you compare both of these tasks? Which one was accomplished quickly with the better work quality? Of course, the task you liked performing was performed way better. This is what motivation is. It serves as a start-up so that you can get ahead with the work. The most difficult aspect of any task is to get it started, and once things get started, there is no looking back. Therefore, motivation is a key factor in making you get started on your way to success. 2. Motivation makes you keep moving. When on the path of success, you are not always rewarded with success. One has to fall down many times before getting up and moving ahead. Obstacles, after all, are an integral part to make you stronger. It makes you worthy of your success. So, you have to be mentally prepared to face the tough work, the challenges and the problems in order to move ahead. So, you need to keep yourself motivated in order to keep pushing and going ahead. 3. Do something extra. What is it that the successful do that we don't? We have always wondered about this and got no answer. It's what they do extra makes them successful. Even if you have started up, moved on and faced challenges, you still need to push it beyond what your normal capacity is. Only then would you yield the fruit of success. Doing the necessary would get the job done anyway, so how about doing that extra bit, so that the task itself would boast about who has done it? Think about it. 4. It's boring without motivation. Why do you take books to read or listen to music when going on a long journey? It is to make you feel fresh throughout the journey. Same is the case with motivation. The road to success is long, boring and tedious, but if you have motivation as your companion, then you need not worry about anything. Difficult times can be conveniently endured by motivation, as being motivated ensures that you not only do it the right way, but also enjoy yourself as you go ahead. So always feel motivated, keep your hopes high and look towards a brighter future. Chapter 13. The role of education for a successful life. Education is one of the fundamental principles on which one's success depends. To understand the role of education and its impact on success, one has to first understand how they measure a successful life. A successful life can be denominated by a person's wealth, fame, career position, property, assets and most of all, their personality. While many argue that one needs to have luck for success and those who are born with wealth and assets are already successful, we do need to realize that being born with assets would not make us successful until we prove ourselves to be worthy of it. So regardless of the fact whether you are born rich or poor, you need to focus on how you can be successful and how you can maintain this position of yours. Now comes the question, why do people press on being educated in order to be successful? Well, it's quite simple. Education gives you the sense of direction, the knowledge, the skills and the focus which is needed in order to be successful. Of course, good rationale is also important, as many who have succeeded in their career paths have done so because they made good decisions. But our decisions eventually depend on our education and are in some way affected by our level of education and experience. An educated entrepreneur and an uneducated entrepreneur have different approaches, strategies and planning tendencies. Moreover, education makes you stand out amongst the others, gives you dignity and grace. The chances of having better paid jobs and even better careers are all dependent on your level of education. College dropouts such as Bill Gates, Microsoft, Michael Sell, Dell Computers and Steve Jobs of Apple are some of the exceptions who were either so intelligent or hardworking that lack of education didn't stop them to be successful. But following their path is not everybody's rule of game, as we have to face the reality rather than dream about exceptions. Despite not having a college degree, these men were so hardworking and intelligent that they are today's billionaires. However, not everybody can follow the footsteps of these exceptional men, as we don't have the required intelligence or the luck in order to make it as big as them. So, what exactly do we do in order to make it as big? We can't just sit down and start dreaming. The best thing to do in these circumstances is to take charge and get educated. A master's or any professional degree is the key to success, as these degrees would not only land us in better paying jobs, but also make us worthy of it. Our personality and values would be shaped by the education we get, which would help us to deal with the numerous business and corporate situations that otherwise leave us confused. Moreover, our inner self would also be strengthened via education, as the values that our education would give us would also help us to portray ourselves in a much better way to the society. So always remember, the key to success is good education, as it transforms our knowledge, values and our approach towards the way to success. Chapter 14. Social roles for a successful life. Having a great friend circle and socializing with people is a great way to propel your life ahead. It's not always that we come across people whom we get on well with. However, having an active social life is a great way to keep you boosted up. Spending time with people not only makes your moods uplifted, but it also enhances your emotional well-being, personality and manners. The key point to understand here is that one should not only make a lot of friends, but rather, be friends with those people who are open-minded and ambitious. Such positive people tend to have a lot of positive influence in your life. However, while making social connections, it is important that we realize some social habits that would be toxic for our social relations and should be best avoided. In this regard, some of the following tips should be implemented while socializing with open-minded social circle. 1. Talk about motivation and passion of others. A good social asset for all times is to talk about the social assets of others as much as you can. This would make you find out what inspires them and how they tend to be so intrinsically motivated. You can discuss their passions and ask them why they are so attracted towards them. As you get better at this skill, you will realize that at times, you can even discover somebody's hidden potentials that even they are unaware of. 2. Don't whine. Whining is a major push away. It's a highly negative sign, a red alert for those whom you socialize with. Moreover, it makes your social circle dislike you. So get away from this whining habit. Even though you might think that you don't really whine, people around you might be more sensitive about this issue. Just be more self-conscious in order to realize how much people around you suffer from your whining and how often you do it. Do understand that complaint and whining are two different things. You complain when you calmly elaborate about how something is unacceptable and how it should change. However, whining is a totally different scenario. 3. Don't boast. Boasting might give us great happiness, boost the ego for a bit, but actually tends to be quite detrimental for our social life. However, nobody prefers to be in the company of a boaster, and it often leaves a bad impression on the people you socialize with. Only if you are a comedian and are boasting for fun, then it is surely to be taken in a light-hearted manner. However, you also need to have a distinction between honesty and boasting. If you are honestly telling others about your achievements, then there is no need for you to hide them. Rather, if you actually feel like telling others about something, then that is supposed to be boasting. So evaluate yourself on these parameters and try to judge yourself about where you go wrong while socializing with people. Correct yourself and use these tips so as to properly interact with people and move towards a positive personal change. Chapter 15. Maintain work-life balance. The world is changing so rapidly that every other person now has to work in order to live a better life. In this race, one often tends to mix up their personal and professional life. This results in a jumbled-up life, messed up priorities, lack of time and overall dissatisfaction. This also gives a feeling to the person that despite all the hard work, one has still something missing in life. This missing element is the mental peace and tranquility that one needs to concentrate in life. It is therefore advisable that one follows certain rules in order to keep their lives simple, and lives a healthier life with a balance between the personal and professional life. Some of these factors are in your control whereas some may be out of the domains of your control. For convenience, we'll look at some tips which are divided under 3 aspects below. At work. 1. Take small breaks during the day. A 10-minute break can be taken every 2 hours so that your effectiveness and work productivity can enhance. 2. Prioritize your day and divide your time realistically. 3. Limit all the email correspondence to office only. Don't take your pending work home. 4. Distinction between the work and personal life should be kept separate. Don't work or think about work 24/7. 5. Deal with unrealistic deadlines before it is too late. Communicate the problems to your boss so as to avoid issues at last moment. 6. Consume your earned leaves/vacations so that you can return fresh at work again. At home. 1. Relax and spend time with family after returning from work. 2. Divide household chores amongst family members so that after all the work is completed, the family can sit together and share some quality time. 3. Exercise even for at least 10 minutes a day. It would refresh you and you'll feel more energized. 4. Eat healthy food so that you have the energy to spend time with your family and also to work productively. 5. Adopt a hobby that you can pursue with your family or friends. This would keep your mind off work and also make you much more energized. Hobbies are also quite effective to alleviate stress, so you can use a good hobby and make use of it. In community. 1. Spend some quality time in your community. Devote some voluntary time in community work so that you can devote your money, education and time to social work. This would enhance your satisfaction level and also bring you a sense of social responsibility. You can also generate funds, help in arranging corporate social responsibilities and use your maximum capacity to serve for your community. 2. You can also participate in your children's school events and parental societies in order to know what your child is learning at school. Parental groups are also involved at organizing functions and social tasks for the school kids. This would not only help you manage your time, but also inculcate such social and extracurricular habits in your children. Chapter 6.